Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanita Jones, CPA. I am your hostess with the mostest of the Daycare Profit Strategy community. I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone. There are some people I haven't had an opportunity to talk to in this new year, but tonight I am coming before you because I have received an overwhelming amount of questions, phone calls, inboxes, text messages, all sorts of communications surrounding PPP second draw. I affectionately call it PPP 2.0. And people would like to know, how can they tell if they qualify for PPP 2.0? So what I'm doing is I am setting up my phone so that I can see your comments, because I cannot see your comments on a computer screen. So most of the business owners we work with are using QuickBooks Online. Now, please understand, I am not going into the QuickBooks Online training, but for this situation in this season, I think that it is imperative that if you have these tools, you know how to use these tools. You're not going to go out to Home Depot and have a screwdriver. You're not going to have a security system and not know how to check the cameras. Likewise, you should not have accounting software and not know how to use your tools. You don't have this accounting software just so you can pay taxes. You have this so you can know your numbers, so that you can grow your numbers. And I am going to show you how to read your numbers. Now, I'm talking to a group of educators, so I know you can appreciate learning and teaching and education. Learning is fundamental. So feel free to share this video with your friends. What I'm going to show you is not exclusive or elusive to childcare. What I'm going to show you is about business in general and how to use the reports in QuickBooks Online. If you are using Xero, there are similar reports that can be run in Xero. If you're using QuickBooks Simple Start, if you are using QuickBooks Desktop has robust reports. It's actually a lot more complicated to run the reports, in my opinion, in QuickBooks Desktop. Nevertheless, I'm going to show you how to run these reports. If you are watching this on a replay, it would be super duper dope if you would drop me a pound replay. If you are watching this in the email broadcast that I'm going to send out, do me a favor and write broadcast on it, because I'm going to invite you to join the group. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right in it. You can feel free to post your questions and comments. And I'm going to show you first how to run the reports. I'm going to show you how to read the reports, and I'm going to break it down in English and tell you what it means. So like I said, if you have friends in the room, in the group, when this is over, you can feel free to tag them. But I have answered my last question surrounding this. Of course, for our customers, our clients that we work with, this is part of what we do for you. But for everyone else, if you need additional help, you can certainly feel free to schedule a consultation with us. So I'm going to jump right into it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. This is the first time I've attempted to share my screen on this software. So can you all see my screen okay? That is the question. And there is a slight delay between when I do something on the screen and when it sees it. When you guys see it, actually on my phone, I can just see that my screen is finally showing. So I hope it's big enough for you to all see. So if you use QuickBooks Online, the screen you log into, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tanika. The screen you look into will look very similar to this. You're going to want to go over to your reports pane. And I know I talk fast. There are subtitles and you can pause and rewind. So you want to go to reports. The report that we're going to be looking at is our profit and loss report. We are looking at our profit and loss report because our profit and loss report shows our money that comes in. It shows our money that comes out. But right now, we are primarily only concerned with money coming in. Now, before we run that report, I want to call your attention to something else that is super duper important. Okay? And that's on our banking screen. So this is all fake data, by the way. This is no one's real information. This is the QuickBooks sample company. So on this banking screen, you see sample company has all of these transactions pending. If you have transactions pending, that means your books are not complete. So any reports that you run while there are things outstanding, those reports are not complete. So before you do this, before you try this at home, you want to make sure that you don't have any transactions, and this company does. You want to make sure you don't have any transactions for the period in which you are running your reports. I say that because if you have refunds, for example, in the spent column, that would reduce your gross receipts, and that would make you seem to have more revenue than you have. And you may incorrectly think you do not qualify when in fact you may. Likewise, you may have funds in the received column that are not posted, and you may incorrectly apply for funds you are not entitled to. And then you could get in trouble if you get money that you shouldn't have gotten. So, another thing, how do I know everything is good to go? Good question. See, I heard that. If you have never reconciled your books, then there's no way to know that your transactions are all recorded and all complete. And reconciling your books, ladies and gentlemen, reconciling your books is not matching and adding transactions in the bank feed. This is not a reconciliation. QuickBooks will tell you things are what QuickBooks thinks it does. It does that with artificial intelligence. What this artificial means, it means not real. So if you don't know what you are doing, you can learn. You can go to your community college. And the reason why I say that is because anybody can learn QuickBooks. I taught my son QuickBooks when he's 15 now, he was maybe 10. Anybody can learn to use software, but the accounting that runs behind it is what powers it. A computer is only as good as the program, which is done by the programmer. So you want to make sure all your transactions are posted. You want to make sure your books are reconciled. This is not a reconciliation. This is just posting the transactions to your general ledger. I haven't reconciled a darn thing. So that's what we mean. When we ask for your books reconciled, we mean, are all of these things recorded? And then have all these things been compared against the bank statement, against the books, vice versa. So once everything is posted and everything is reconciled, now we can run reports. So from this screen, if you're on this screen, and y'all should know this screen to link your accounts, especially if you got NFCU, do your accountant a favor and go reconnect that account right now, because they always come disconnected. Same thing with BB&T. So from this screen or the dashboard, wherever you log in, you want to run your report. And you do that by clicking reports. We're going to look at the profit and loss report, because the profit and loss report shows our money that came in and it shows our expenses that go out. Now notice here, ladies and gentlemen, when you run this report, it asks you what report period are you interested in. So you want to run for last year. Last year, January 2020 through December 2020. Take a note. That is what the IRS is concerned about. I'm sorry, the SBA. They also want you to compare this to last year, the prior year, which is 2019. So I got last year, I ran my report. Okay, Craig's Landscaping, sample company, they brought in their income, their total income was $10,000 for the whole year. So they didn't do too good, right? COVID hit them hard. But the SBA wants to know what you brought in by quarter. So we want to display these columns by quarters and run your report. When we do this, we get January through March, April through June, July through September, October through December. The word quarter, they really mean quarter in the real sense of the word. It's 4 quarters in a year, of course, and each of those quarters have 3 months. So now we know what our quarterly revenue is, and I'm just going to make this smaller so that we can read it. We see what our quarterly income is. It was $0 for quarter 1, $0 for quarter 2, $391 for quarter 3, and $9,800 for quarter 4. So now the government says we need to compare our 2020 quarters against our 2019 quarters. So I need my 2019 quarter one, my 2019 quarter two, my 2019 quarter three, and my 2019 quarter four, because this needs to be compared to see, did I get less money in 2020 than I did in 2019? If I did, that means I qualify potentially for PPP because it demonstrates that COVID cost me to bring less money into my company. Did I lose anyone in the comments? This is very important because a lot of people are not going to qualify as they did before because grant income is income, and grant income is factored in because a lot of the grant income that we receive was for providing childcare services. So, does it make sense? I see a lot of yeses. I don't know if that was for my last question. If you give me a thumbs up, let me know. If it doesn't make sense, give me a sad face. Tell me what doesn't make sense, and we can stay here for another minute or two until you understand. We have about 13 people in here. I'm sure hundreds are going to see it on replay. So if you have a question, someone else has the same question. So I got some thumbs up. So that means we understand. This is how we ran our reports for our 2020 quarters. I'm going to do it again in turbo speed now, because when you come in to your QuickBooks, you're going to run your report. You're going to run your profit and loss report. You're going to run it for last year because they're asking you to compare 2020 to 2019. So I'm going to go ahead, and I also need to see it by quarters. This tells us our columns up and down vertically. How are we going to see them? I want to see it by quarters. I don't want to see the total. I'm going to run that report. Now I see my 2020 quarters 1 through 4. So now we got 2020. We need to get 2019. You can do this one or two ways. If you really feeling savvy, you can do it the way I do it. If you're not feeling savvy or you're afraid you're going to mess it up, you can go, you can go ahead and print this report. And I'm not going to really print it. You could go ahead and print this report and manually compare it. And for those of you that just hopped on, I saw the numbers change. You want to make sure everything that you have in your banking feed is posted. And when you post it, that is not reconciling. And there's no guarantee that it is correct, even though QuickBooks is saying that. But I'm not teaching you QuickBooks how to do that. I'm teaching you how to run these darn reports that everybody needs. So now we got our information by quarter laid out here. We need to compare another period. Look at God. This is already set here. Now, if you are using QuickBooks Simple Start, you do not have access to all these reports. If you think you qualify, it probably makes a heck of a whole lot of sense for you to go ahead, pay the extra money, upgrade, and get what you need. Or you print the report manually and you manually pull out your calculator, your spreadsheet. So to compare this other report, I want to compare the prior year. Now, if I'm in 2020, my prior year is what? My prior year is 2019. And I want to see the percentage change because I need to know that I make 25% or more less in 2020 than I did in 2019. Once I set these parameters, I can run my report again. And look, it'll lay it out. So this is current. Current is 2020 because I ran it as of last year. So that is my current. And then this is showing me it's January through March 2019. This PY means prior year. And in this column is my percentage change. It's showing me that I go up, that I go down. So here I had $0 in 2020 quarter one, $0 in 2019 quarter one, no change. So guess what? That quarter is a non-factor. Quarter two, April through June, 2020, my current, I had zero income. I had zero income in 2019, no reduction. Now, when I get to quarter three and my current 2020 year, and I wish QuickBooks did put the numbers on there, they don't. So you kind of got to think about it. Am I losing anyone? Let me know. Talk to me. Give me a set face if you losing me. Give me a thumb up if you with me. If I'm losing you, I will go back and I will make it clearer, because in all our getting, it's important that we get understanding. You are educating our young people, our future, and it's important to me that you got this, because we need to keep you funded. And I'll give you guys a few seconds because there is a delay between my live, my phone where I have to see the comments, and the actual comments that you all are putting in. Okay, thank you. We can continue. So in this third quarter, July through September, we see that in our current year we had $391. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong section. We still have zero in quarter three for our, well, where's our total income? Oh no, I'm not. I lied. We see our quarter three total income is $391. We have no income here. I don't know why this says zero. That shouldn't say zero. There was actually an increase. So this is a QuickBooks sample company. I cannot show you a real company unless, no, I can't show you a real company because I can't show you anyone's real information. So in our current year is 391. The prior 2019 year, there was zero. There's no reduction here. There's an increase because more money came in the current year than it did in the prior year. So then when we go to the fourth quarter, 2020, we had nothing. So I wish they had another sample company. Another way you can do this, if this is just too much for you to look at, again, you can run last year, 2020. You don't have to compare a prior period. You can run your report and you can see your quarters listed out. And I don't know why they set up this chart of accounts. You can see your quarters listed out like this. And then you can run it for 2019. And you can see your quarters listed out in 2019. So they don't have any data in 2019. So that's why. But the point remains. So why am I doing this? Why am I showing you this? I thought you never asked. I am doing this and showing you this because in order to qualify for PPP round 2, you have to show that you brought less money in 2020 than you brought in 2019. A lot of people are doing better in 2020 than they were in 2019. So once again, I'm back before you telling you, if you don't have accounting records, how are you going to know what your 2020 to your 2019 is? And you can use QuickBooks, you can use Xero, you can use Quicken. We do not support KidCare accounting. We do not support accounting in ProCare. We do like using those systems to invoice your families, but I do not use their general ledger system because it is not conducive for all of the things that are needed for business owners. We are business owners. Even if you are a small center, a storefront center, maybe you in your basement, maybe you're in your garage. By the way, one of my clients totally decked her garage out. I really like looking at childcare pictures, and I really like to go visit them because, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. But it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how small you are, because you are in business, and these are things that business owners need. If PPP 1.0, if COVID 2020 didn't teach us anything, we need to have our affairs in order. Now, if you we got a gang of clients that started business with us in 2020. Some of them had been in existence before, and they're like, Shanita, can you help me? I can give you your 2020. So what do those people do? If you have 2020 books, but you don't have 2019, that's where you need to go get your bank statements. You need to go get those statements where those subsidy payments come in. You need to go get your statements where those vouchers, tuition, whatever you call them in your state, where those co-pays, cash pays, tuitions, private pays, whatever you call it, you need to go get every single month. And see, This is another reason why we don't want 5011 bank accounts. Because then imagine I have one client, bless her heart, and she's working on it. She has 17 bank accounts. We're working on it. But however many bank accounts you have, and you want to be as accurate as possible because people are going to jail. And some of the people that are getting in trouble are not being intentionally dishonest or misleading. They just don't have their stuff together. So please, ladies and gents, get your stuff together. If you've been thinking about getting accounting in place, and it's and oh, new year, new me, I'm away. Oh, I ain't hear that this year. After last year, we don't say that anymore. But if you've been talking about doing it, thinking about doing it, now is a good time to do it. We do have room for 6 more monthly childcare accounting clients, and we are accepting new tax clients. We'll tell you how you can accomplish working with us in the new year. But if you don't have books, go get all of your bank statements for all of your accounts. Tally up that money coming in. If you have 75 accounts, you're going to have a problem because all of the money coming in is not actually money coming in. Some of that money is what I call the shuffle, because you're transferring like Kevin Hart to your checking to your savings, the way your bank account is set up. Well, now that's coming back to bite us again. So you're going to want to meticulously go through it and find out how much income came in for January, February, March, all the way through December 2019. And then you're going to need to do the same thing for January, February, March 2020, all the way through December 2020. But don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Make sure you factor in those transfers between those bank accounts and don't count it as income. Once you get those bank statements together, and I would suggest doing a spreadsheet. I'm an accountant, of course, I'm going to say that. I would suggest doing a spreadsheet and listing it out so that you can then group Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and doing the math. If you were unable to do this because you do not have books or because you feel like it may be too overwhelming, maybe you're busy, maybe you don't understand, maybe you just prefer to not be that one, that's fine. We can help you with this. We can help you figure out what your 2019 to 2020 is. Now, I would be remiss if I did not tell you clearly, just because we're doing a calculation does not mean you will qualify. Our whole purpose of doing a calculation is to determine if you qualify. If you started your business in 2020, I got to wake y'all up. Because there are some people that start, I'm not even going to tell y'all the story about that bell, but there are some people that started their business in 2020. If you started your business in 2020, all you did was go up. I'm sorry, but there is no way to demonstrate a loss from COVID because you started from the bottom, now you here. You consistently came up, you got more money. COVID may have slowed you down, but you have no way to prove it. You have no way to prove it because you just consistently got more money. There's no way to say if COVID didn't happen, my enrollment wouldn't be at 50%, I would be at 85% because you have nothing else to compare it to. Shannon, how do you code the transfers if it was originally tuition, but then was transferred? Shannon, it sounds like you may really, so if it's a transfer, it's a transfer. And then when it's tuition, it's tuition. So when it came in, it was tuition. And then when you moved it out, it was a transfer. A transfer should never be income. A transfer should never be uncategorized anything. And for God's sake, there is no real world account called opening balance equity. Another question that I'm surprised no one asked yet, but Shannon, she probably on it, and this is probably her next question. And that question is my PPP income? No, no, no. Now, there was some discussion early on before the SBA and the IRS and the feds got together and changed their position, but that is not income. Well, technically it will be if you're forgiven, but it's not going to be taxable income. Just like that EIDL grant. The EIDL grant was supposed to reduce. Oh, Shannon smiled. Was that what you were going to ask me next, Shannon? Because see, I've been doing this and teaching this a long time. and I try to foresee your answers. I try to think about your questions and what I would be asking if I was a business owner before. Yes, Tammy, it will be replayed. Do you guys think that I should email this out to the people on our childcare list? Do you think they would find this useful? Because everybody in our list and even some of our clients won't come hang out with us on Facebook. I don't know why. I think we're pretty cool. So maybe I will share this because this is super useful information. A lot of you are getting notifications from your bank that you should apply. Make sure you answer the questions honestly. Make sure you do your due diligence. If you cannot do your due diligence yourself, hire a qualified professional to help you. My team and I are on standby. We are offering that service. It is a service that is billed hourly for people that we have not been working with. And we will be able to help you to get it together. But I'm not even gonna lie to you. When we help you get it together, if you're a bank statement person, our next thing is going to be, we want to make sure you leave us better than when you came to us. And we want to make sure you get your stuff together. Oh, thank you, Miss Teresa. We want to make sure you get your stuff together. So y'all be careful with that Clubhouse advice that I've been hearing about. No, I'm not on there because I'm boycotting. They don't do right by Android. And don't y'all say I'm boycotting because they don't allow Android. No, really, I don't have enough time to play with them. But seriously, take your time, go through your stuff. That's the biggest tip. If you don't hear nothing else that I said to you, be sure not to count your transfers as income. And that will only happen if you don't have solid accounting in place. Now, there's another credit. Before, you were not allowed to get the PPP and the employee retention credit. The SBA changed that. You can now get PPP and retention credit, but you cannot get them for the same funds in the same period. How do you prove it? You got to have accounting records. You got to have books. Even if you get it quarterly, this is the year to get it right. So I think I've answered all of the questions that I've been getting. I'm going to blast this video out to some of our tax clients, some of our tax only clients that have been inboxing, messaging in a bottle. On Tuesdays, we don't do client calls and we don't do client meetings. That is where we learn to do all of this stuff that we do to help you. So please don't feel ignored or discouraged if you try to reach me on a Tuesday. I'm really trying to be more intentional about that. Staying out this instant messenger box and also checking email on a more sensible schedule because it's tax time and I got to find money for my people. And I can't find my money for my people if I'm, distracted too much. I got to focus. So again, if you need assistance with this, we can help you. We will not complete a PPP loan application for anyone. Why? Because I do not feel comfortable signing a line saying that you are going to pay back any amount of money. So we will not do the application. We can do the numbers and give you the numbers, but you can do the application and sign up for your own debt. And that's just because for liability purposes, we will not do that. The other thing that's been coming up where PPP is concerned, the forgiveness. So if you think you qualify for PPP 2.0, it's really called second draw, but got to have my own terminology for everything. If you think you qualify for PPP 2.0, you do not have to apply for forgiveness right now. And the reason why is because there's going to be a consolidated forgiveness application, at which time you will be able to apply for both loans to be forgiven at the same time. Miss Melissa says, do all quarters have to be lower? Great question, Miss Melissa. No, they do not. You just need to have one quarter lower than the corresponding quarter in the subsequent year. Say that in English, Shanita. You just need one quarter to be lower in 2020 than that same quarter in 2019. If I was looking at this, I would start with quarter two. I would start with quarter two to see if my quarter two is lower first, because quarter two, of course, that's April, May, June, is when most people took the hit. Most people got shut down in quarter two. So quarter two is probably where you will see the biggest decline. If you started your business in 2020 and all you did was go up, you probably are not going to have a reduction in your business. So I pray that something that I said was useful to you all. I hope we help somebody today. If you need assistance with this, all of the questions that you asked, and somebody's still asking questions, so I'll hang around a minute longer. But all of the questions that you will have, I should have answered them. We walked through how to run the video on how to run the report in QuickBooks Online. Most people are using it, so I didn't go through Zero. I didn't go through any of the other ones. We do not support KidCare, and we do not support ProCare General Ledger systems because, quite frankly, they are not real accounting systems. They get the job done for the purposes they serve, but we don't support them. And just in case anyone is confused, thank you, Ms. Francesca. The quarters, quarter one is January through March. Quarter two is April through June. Quarter three is July through September. And quarter four is October through December. So you take those 2020 quarters, you compare them to the 2019 quarters. The next thing you need to do is you need to do some subtraction. So when you take 2019 minus 2020, if you have a negative number, that means stop, that quarter doesn't win because you said 2020 was higher. But if you take 2019 and you subtract 2020 and the number is positive, that means 2019 was higher. And so now you need to take that difference. And this is for the people who do not have. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and show y'all that too. But I need to pull up another example. So y'all can't see my screen anymore, right? Before I do something. Okay, so someone said if I didn't have, oh, bless your heart. If you didn't have me for 2019, what do you do? I walked through the whole example. You're gonna you can, if you want to subscribe to us to do, if you want to engage us to perform that service for you, we can do it. We do not need to do the whole set of books if you don't want to. If you've already done your tax return, you may not need to do the books for that prior year. But so I'm going to log in. I think I have a dummy company, or I think I may be able to shield something from one of my own companies. And I'll give you an example if I can find something this appropriate to share with you, because I want to show y'all how this math works. Because I am not I want to show y'all how this math works because we've been getting a lot of questions on this, and I really want I really want to help y'all, especially because I won't be able to just answer these questions all day. That's just the truth. So I'm looking for another. And this is also good that we need to do this because it's going to motivate people to actually be on top of and aware of their numbers. So I thought I had another dummy company in here. I don't. I can go back to the sample company and show you. I don't have another company that I can use as a sample. So basically you want to take that quarter from 2019 and you want to take that quarter from 2020 and do the math. If you do 2019 minus 2020, that means if it's a positive number, that means 2019 was higher. So you take that difference, whatever that number was, and then you divide it by 2019. So you can see what the reduction was. If 2020 was bigger, then there's no need to go any further to get the percentage because that means you won't qualify for that quarter. So for the people that just came on and tuned in, someone was asking if you didn't have me in 2019, what do you do? All hope is not lost. You would simply just need to go through all of the bank statements for all of your accounts. This is like reason number 976 why you don't want to have too many bank accounts, because the transfers between the accounts could be erroneously counted as income. And then you could also erroneously think you don't qualify for something that you do qualify for. So I encourage you, even if you just get your accounting done quarterly, even if you don't get all the bells and whistles, the higher tier accounting packages, you should at least have some form of bookkeeping, because you're going to want to buy a house. You're going to want to get a business loan. You're going to want to get lines of credit and other things. And the first thing they want is a profit and loss. And you can't just pull that out of thin air. You need to be able to have reports. You'll be able to run your own reports. Oh, Miss Francesca, I'm not talking about you. You good. But there are people, no lie, 17 business bank accounts. 17. Never seen it like that, anything like that in my life. And the other reason why I don't like so many bank accounts is because most people that have these bank accounts that they do not need, they always end up with overdraft fees because they're so busy and they don't see it. And don't say, oh, I got overdraft protection. Overdraft protection, they still charge you a fee every time they protect your overdraft for most of the banks that I work with anyway. And it's just not a good use of money. I mean, I feel like I should just save you that money and increase your fee and don't have to worry about getting your bank account shut down. So the last time I explained it like that to somebody that at that time she had, I think, 12 bank accounts, she shut them down. There's a time and a place for everything. It's a time for all those bank accounts, but those times are honestly few and far between where it makes sense. So if you ladies don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You can put any questions you have related to this on this thread. Feel free to share this video with your friends, and I will be sending this email out in a broadcast. I forgot to send the other PPP video out. I won't send them out back to back, but I will send them out. But I think this video covered everything pretty well, so I may not need to. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you. Make sure you all tune in to the the childcare tax readiness webinar. There were 100 spaces. We have 153 people sold out. Well, it's not for sale, it's free. We have 153 people registered. We are increasing the room size, but I'm not going to increase it above 200. Likewise, if you have questions for tax, make sure you send those questions in advance, because I am going to have a Q&A section, but with those many people on a webinar and making sure we want to get through everything, I want to be sure I get everybody's questions answered, and I can kind of rephrase what I'm going to say. I can kind of rephrase how I'm going to say what I'm going to say to capture all those questions. So if you have questions about that, I'm going to bump that post in the group as well, so I can go ahead and make sure I capture as much of that as I can. So thank you. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe. Continue to practice social distancing, but still be present. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.